You are going to want to brown 1 pound of ground turkey or ground beef. Today we are using lean ground beef. And I like to brown mine until it is very, very done. Put some of that flavor from the grease back in. And while this is frying, we are going to go ahead and dice some onions up. Alright, now this recipe calls for 1 large onion. This is probably, I'd say, a medium onion. But that's alright because my husband is not a fan of cooked onion. He likes raw onion. So we are going to dice this super fine. I used to have a really nice little onion chopper, and it got dropped and stepped on and became no longer usable. And I really miss that because I hate chopping onions, as I'm sure everyone does. Now, I'm the one who likes cooked onions. I despise raw onions. I can do raw green onions, but any other type of raw onion is a definite no for me. I will pick it out. If I crunch on it, it's just done. It just ruins the whole meal for me. I know that's weird, and I'm not a picky eater, but I've just never liked raw onion. Alright, so we've got this onion cut up. We are going to check back on our ground beef. And let's go ahead and season this with some salt and pepper. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. Alright. I see a lot of people have that cool little hamburger breaker-upper tool. This is what I use, or my wooden spoon, and it seems to work just fine. So I've sprayed my crock pot with nonstick cooking spray. We are going to add 1 can of diced tomatoes with green chilies, 1 can of diced tomatoes, 1 can of corn drained, 1 can of pinto beans that you have rinsed and drained, we are going to add our onions that we diced, and our spices for this are going to be 1 tablespoon of chili powder, half a teaspoon of garlic, and this calls for 1 teaspoon of cumin. We are not cumin fans. I like cumin, but I don't like to overdo it. I usually add a little bit less than what the recipe calls for. So we are just going to go with a heaping half a teaspoon. And also a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm just eyeballing this, and pepper to taste. And this also calls for a can of tomato sauce. I was out of tomato sauce, so what I'm doing is I'm adding some tomato paste. This is what I had in the freezer. It was extra that I had frozen. We're going to add some tomato paste and some water to kind of loosen up that tomato paste and make it more like the tomato sauce. Alright, now we are going to add our ground beef. Now there are many ways that you could make this even more diabetic friendly. Obviously you could leave the beans out. You could use the ground turkey that is suggested in the recipe. Let's give this a good stir. This smells so good already. You know what? This would be probably phenomenal over some nachos. Oh yeah, this is gonna be this is gonna be so yummy. All right, give that a stir, and what you're gonna want to do now is cover this and cook it on high for 4 hours. I'm gonna actually cook this on low for 8 hours overnight here, and we're gonna see how it turns out in the morning doing that. Stay tuned. This is now cooked overnight for 8 hours on low, and let me tell you guys, this looks absolutely fabulous. It smells great. This is going to be a great chili, not to mention, like I said before, over some nachos. Let's take a look. Oh, this smells awesome. Look how good that looks, you guys. This recipe is definitely a winner, and I will put the ingredients in the description. And thank you all so much for joining me to check out this awesome new recipe for my husband. He is a chili fanatic, but with his newly discovered diabetes, we are having to switch things up. So I hope you all enjoy this, and once again, thank you all for taking the time to stop and watch. Everyone take care.